Whenever we go to small dirt tracks like the one we're at today in Concord, North Carolina, usually we see sprint car racing. Fast, nimble, lightweight cars that can get up to high speeds just about as quick as stock cars do at the sister track of this venue, the Mile and a Half. Tonight, that's not the case. We're looking at something completely different, and it's a once-in-a-year event where the stakes are higher than ever to end the 2025 Reigel Promotions Special Event Series. There's only one way we can go. That's with the Pro 2 trucks. Welcome to the Truckers Tangle 40. Qualifying races are underway. We've got heat-style racing beginning, and your opening heat of the night is due to begin. Live on FTN Broadcasting and courtesy of Reigel Promotions, this is the Special Event Series, and this is the dirt track at Charlotte. I'll be your host for tonight's event. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing. We have 21 drivers registered for this main feature, so we're going to have 3 heats with 7 drivers apiece. This will set the stage and your qualifying lineup for the main event. Tonight's event is brought to you by Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions. For the past 2 years, they presented it solo. This is the 3rd running of this event, with our 4th scheduled for the 29th of March in 2026. So, got a little bit of time until then, but it won't be all too long until these drivers take on the very same circuit all over again. Starting up in front is Josh Whiteman in the number 5. Didn't qualify there, but it looks like a shuffle in the order gives Josh the opportunity to begin this first heat as your leader. The iRacing pace truck dips down at pit road, and with your opening heat getting underway, this will determine who lands on the top step of the qualifying charts and takes the pole position. Josh Whiteman inside of row number 1. Outside will be the 0-1 of Everett Larson. Green flags underway for our first 8 laps of racing. Tonight's race consisting of 3 heat runs, 8 laps apiece, and a little bit of nudging already. Contact to the quarter panel there for the 5 of Whiteman. These Pro 2 trucks can handle a beating, and at the 4/10 of a mile circuit we're at, every inch counts. With a nice run off that higher seam, Everett Larson gets the advantage, but it's still all 7 drivers within a half second of the top step. Coming across the line, Countryman, Thad Countryman, in second place. And he is still right down low. This first heat is brought to you by Right Rear Racing. The second brought to you by Casey Simmons Photography. And the third by Twisted Speed. Toe-to-toe right now. And it's just a slight advantage for Everett Larson. And you can see how close the rest of the field is right behind. We've just got to the halfway point of your first heat. Larson made use of that second groove very well. One of the big things about this race tonight is that the track state will change as the night goes on. The more dirt that's laid up in those inner seams or outer seams depends on where drivers go in the heat. So right now, not only are they racing each other for position, but they're packing themselves up and getting settled in, because the changes they make to their racing groove right here will help them in the main race. All the way up high, you've got the blacked out number 96 of Jordan Navarro working the top groove. And while it's going to sacrifice some position for now, maybe he'll be more comfortable up there in the big show. Coming to 2 laps to go, it's easily Everett Larson for the lead, but a little bit of contact. Matt Taylor slightly into Thad Countryman. Countryman able to get out of that one ever so slightly. He's been able to move clear for second. Coming across the line, 1 lap to go. It will be Larson looking to take the top spot. 1 lap left. Final lap in heat number 1. Brought to you tonight by Two Fat Guys and, of course, our friends at Right Rear Racing. The Moza 01 Pro 2 truck is clear as day. Got the lead in the first lap, didn't look back. Second will be Countryman, third Matt Taylor, but it's Everett Larson with the pole position, and the top step goes to the 01. That is your pole sitter, Larson, to the point. Qualifying concludes Heat 1 is out of the way. And so now we move on to your second heat. The pole position taken in right rear racing, heat number 1, and it'll be Everett Larson at the head of the field. Tyler Bickford will be starting your second heat as the top-seeded driver. This heat brought to you by Casey Simmons Photography, and the number 7 lines up alongside Jimbo Rooney in a 27. Donnie Watts, Corey Boddenut, then Michael Menis and Scott Thomason go down to 6 with Benjamin Wirt, 7th and last of those in this heat. So we've got the same lineup. All of these drivers ready to roll at it again. Same quantity lineup-wise. 7 drivers per heat of all of your 21. They'll be able to get it in waiting to see now. Get the job done in this one. Everett Larson clearly able to make it happen last time around. And the advantage for him was using that outer groove and taking the race lead. This time around, Bickford with the advantage started off. Field will go green, and to the outside goes Bickford, falling back. Tyler dropping behind, and so it looks like instead you're going to see a black machine up front. That will be, it's like your number 34. Corey Boddenot will take the pole position in Heat 2 as they shuffle it around a little bit after qualifying, and so that's going to leave Bickford with a bit of a disadvantage. And we'll see now whether or not he can get himself back up there. I wouldn't be doubtful of it. But for the time being, it looks like anyway, you're going to see a little bit more trouble for Bickford to take P1. It doesn't really, maybe it doesn't matter that much. Everett Larson didn't start P1 and was still able to make it happen. We'll see what happens here. Bickford further back. Jimbo Rooney still going to be there. Second row. Set to go green. 34 of Corey leading. Number 74 of Donnie Watts right beside him. Green flag will go this time by. And so they roll. It's going to be the 34 of Boddenot into turn 1 with your race lead. And so it begins. 3 wide for the top step and door banging already. Jimbo Rooney all the way down to the bottom seam. And he's going to let the 34 of Corey Boddenot wash up. Now comes Bickford. Tyler already fighting for second place. And looking for an opportunity, 3 wide low. Tyler Bickford gets it up to second. He's not going to be in a comfortable spot as again he has to back off. Jimbo Rooney side by side with Boddenot. 3 wide and as low as he can go. Tyler Bickford all the way down to nearly the grass. Contact, door banging, 1, 2, 3. They've been 3 wide now for the last lap. Big block from Tyler Bickford. He'll skate up the track and take the top step. Now, 3 wide middle. This is to start on the outside pole. Contact for Corey Boddenot in the wall. Right front damage. He'll have to lie back. But in the meanwhile, Bickford is getting raced hard as we come to the halfway point of this heat. Side by side at the line. Corey fades back, but Jimbo Rooney is not done trying. Skates up the track, a crossover. Here comes Bickford again. 3 laps remaining this time by. It's going to be all over for either Bickford or Rooney. Only one can come away a winner. The other will have to start at least on the second row of the grid. To take the outside pole, it's tight. Up top, advantage Bickford to the 3 and 4. And the way these Pro 4 trucks cut into the corners, they're just about drifting the whole way through. So you can expect to see a lot of contact, as you saw right there. Bickford picking up some damage on the left rear. Contact? Yes, side by side, big door banging. That's going to send Bickford nearly up to the wall. It's side by side nearly for third now as Corey faces it from Michael Menis at the line. 1 lap to go. Tyler Bickford with the advantage. White flag's out, and he's got more than a car like now. And it's going to be one last shot for Jimbo Rooney to take second in qualifying. He'll dive as low as he goes, but it will not be enough. Tyler Bickford, outside pole, will start second tonight. Jimbo Rooney, Corey Bodenop, top three in Heat 2. 6 drivers start, the last of which is Scott Thomason in 6th place. Benjamin Wirt does not start this heat and will be sent to the back of the field. So, brought to you by Twisted Speed, here comes your third heat race and your final of the night. Tyler Jackson is the man who leads it off, with Fred Hoffman beside him in second. Sebastian Rios Davis in third. Dana Burdick in fourth. John Holly in fifth. Brennan McKee in sixth. And Andrew Reigel registered as your seventh and last competitor, although I believe he will be doing race control, and so he'll let it play out with 6 drivers in this heat. Point standings as they run. Tim Rooney is the points leader by a considerable margin in this series. He's 51 points up on Matt Taylor. Taylor not competing tonight, and so it looks like he'll be in no jeopardy of losing the championship based on tonight's performance. Last time we went racing in this series was Lernerville Speedway on Tuesday, July 22nd, and that's where Rooney, who was able to extend his championship edge, he now has a 51-point clearance, and that should be enough to clinch the title today with a successful run. He came second in Heat 2, and so he will be starting 4th, or rather, starting a little bit further back. He'll be starting in 5th tonight, based on that. This is to start in 3rd, so this 3rd heat determines who is the first driver on the 2nd row. Tyler Jackson, head of the pack, ready to get rolling again. We've only been in this track once in series history, Richie Gaines being the winner, Dylan McKee having the fastest lap, and that came in at a 14.208 second time. Now, that's impossible to hit with these Pro 2 trucks tonight, which means we're expecting to see, no matter what, a new winner at this venue. So, for the first time in series history, one of these men in this race will end up top-seeded. Jimbo Rooney with 6 wins. He's the all-time highest. He's first coming in October at Eldora. He's last coming in April at I-55 Speedway. So watch out for the all-time winningest man as he looks to go for number 7 tonight. That's more on the main race, though. Now for your final heat. Top of the board sees the 113. And that's Dana Burdick kicking things off for your final 8 laps of qualifying action tonight. One thing we've noticed is everything has played out remarkably clean so far, and that's the difference between the sprint cars and the Pro 2 trucks. The acceleration, the power isn't there with the Pro 2s as much as it is the sprint cars. Oh, 3 wide in contact. Here comes Tyler Jackson, and so quickly he'll take the lead right back. It only took him a lap and a half. Now again, as we said, even as these guys bang into each other, there's no fender mending contact. Of course, it only makes it worse, but you can't kill the fender just by making minor taps. These wheels are durable, these trucks are built well, and minor contact won't up and spin you. There's a very low center of gravity, so you are planted, even if sometimes you're shaking up and down the circuit. Jackson gives way to Sebastian Rios Davis. So now Sebastian takes the lead, although Jackson on the high side is looking to spin back and take it. Watch further back for Hoffman and Burdick. They're still right alongside each other for 3rd. 5 laps in of 8. Already halfway through this 3rd and final heat. Side by side, Dana Burdick, Fred Hoffman. It's for 3rd in this heat. And the further back you go in the lineup, the more there is at stake. Because right now, if you're in the top 2, you will start in the top 10. However, 4th, 5th, and 6th are start at the back of the field. Brendan McKee right now struggling to keep up, and it looks like he might be riding shotgun on the field, besides those who did not take a time in the heats. Burdick able to get by Fred Hoffman. way up high. Tyler Jackson here, trying to take it to the very end of the track and use that upper groove and build it up. Coming out of turn 4, he'll get the run and the pass on Davis. 1 lap to go. Davis looks lower and lower, but backs off. No contact. Into 3 and 4. These two drivers are all but neck and neck, and now it's going to be side by side. Lower and lower goes Davis, but it won't be enough. Tyler Jackson wins your third heat. He'll be starting P3 on the night. Heat number 3, brought to you by Twisted Speed, has come to a close. Jackson is your third heat winner. And so, every driver going to be making the main feature, and we got a few minutes now for drivers to prepare themselves and get ready to get started. So, nighttime conditions for your main feature, 40 laps of racing. Everett Larson to the top of the board, and he will have the pole position. Alongside him, of course, the front row filled up in Heat 2. Going to be exciting to see that top 2 lineup come together. Now, just a little bit more preparation before the big show. Goal for drivers as it stands is to put some laps in and prepare themselves and make sure conditions are accurate for what they would like to see, which means that multiple grooves are well defined and they're able to put well thought out racing into action. You don't want it to be one groove that controls the entire race. Likewise, sometimes you see problems when it's a little bit too mismatched all over the place. And as long as these guys get a few more minutes to prepare themselves for the 40-lap feature, that shouldn't be much of an issue. It's now going to be Tyler Bickford, outside front row, Everett Larson, P1, and of course you saw in that third heat, taking P1 is Tyler Jackson, so Jackson will start third. We've got a little bit of time before we go racing here, so let's try to talk to our pole sitter, Everett Larson, as he will be at the top seat on qualifying lineup. Larson, the man of the hour so far, taking P1. Try to find out whether or not he's available to have a word. Looks like for the time being, unfortunately, no driver is, but Larson's going to be one to watch as he is clearly very capable. Able to use that middle groove when he was boxed 3 wide middle to take the lead. That was enough. Eight minutes on the clock. Got Maynard in the number 69. And he's second right now in terms of practice timing. So, interestingly enough, with qualifying being so divvied up all over the place, as it stands, 7 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock. We'll take a ride on board and talk a little bit more. Maynard 26 thousandths off the top time, but it is tight up in front. These laps don't really matter, but you can see the spread of the field is slim. Countryman 3 wide. Now he's second on the pylon, 17 thousandths back. Adam McAfee, 4th place here, 52 back. And then you got Fred Hoffman, P5. Everett Larson is only set the 6th quickest time, but you can see right here, working at the higher groove, not really focusing on going for those quickest times. And for the time being here, it looks like that's going to be a long-term play. Again, the track wear that you see right now moves on to the main race in the final 40 laps, so it's better to define the second groove than play around with hot laps. Larson still chasing after the 18 of Adam McAfee. putting those laps in. McAfee to the inside. So, talking a little bit more about this main race. Every driver makes it in to the 4/10 mile main circuit here, the Charlotte dirt track. That's going to give us 40 laps worth of racing, coming out to about 16 miles and a starting field of 21. Here's how it goes. Every driver is going to have one fast repair. Cautions will not count toward the lap total, and restarts will be double file unless we are under 10 laps to go. 3 green-white checkered attempts are available, and championship standings-wise, it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy title win for Jimbo Rooney. Rooney with 6 wins on the calendar and a 51-point advantage. Rooney is to be expected as the title winner at the end of night in that number 27. There are some penalties that will be administered as the race progresses. That in mind, first and foremost, it's going to be if there's a jump start, 2-spot penalty at the next yellow, and it could transfer over to the next race, which could mean that next season we see penalties transfer over. End of line penalties, 2 of them is a disqualification for the race, and those are administered if a driver is at fault for a wreck. Now, for the time being anyway, what we've seen is remarkably clean racing. We've had, at this point, 24 laps of racing. Heat racing it is. Yes, with smaller fields, but we haven't seen any significant incidents, and so far drivers, while bouncing off each other, haven't had many problems. So hopefully we can keep that energy going into our main show here. 40 laps on the table, and it begins with your front runners. Got Countryman, Bickford, Jackson, and Matt Taylor, and it looks like this is actually going to be different from the lineup that we saw in your heat races. So figure out why that is the case. It's going to be Tyler Bickford on the outside, yes, but Tyler Jackson taking third. It looks like instead Everett Larson, well, as we look out for him here, he's going to be starting in 10th, winning that first heat, but it looks like some changes in the lineup to what we expected. So, revised qualifying lineup goes as follows. Thad Countryman takes the inside of P1, of course. Front row, he's got it. Outside is Tyler Bickford for second, your Heat 2 winner. Heat 3 winner is Tyler Jackson, with Matt Taylor then fourth, and Jimbo Rooney in fifth, and Sebastian Davis in sixth place. There goes Everett Larson. It looks like he's going to settle things out, and he will take his assigned pole position. Interesting, it starts him in 10th. He's going to put himself right back where he should be starting. In those practice laps you saw, inside the top 10 of the quickest times. And of course, in our first heat brought to you by Right Rear Racing, he was the best of the best. A few things to be given out tonight. Championship winner wins a free Reigel Promotions t-shirt. Your Hard Luck Award brought to you by Premier Racing Setups. If you end up actually losing the most spots tonight, you'll end up winning a free setup pack. And Metcalf Photography, a Best Appearing Car Award, is a free photo session, courtesy of the guys at Metcalf. So there are things to be aware of tonight, as well as our FND Awareness Last Lap Pass bonus. And keep that in mind. Whether you end up gaining or losing, there is bonuses on the table. Coming to one to green this time by Everett Larson. He's to the point. Warm-up session brought to you by Night Owl Racing League. We saw some new drivers stand to the top of the charts. We'll see if they're able to take over against the guys who won in the heats, or if that was just wishful thinking now. Second groove, better defined, drivers running laps up high, and now it looks like they've got a shot, the entire field, to really go at it 110%. No compromises, no restrictions. That our 4-wide salute brought to you by Victory Fuel. The entire field spanning end to end this campaign. 12 races from January to the end of September. And until we do it all over again next March, the Truckers Tangle 40 is the perfect send-off. You've got Rooney on that second row, looking for what could be his 7th win, the all-time career high, and a championship to clinch. Countryman, Bickford, Jackson, Taylor, and of course your pole sitter Everett Larson up in front, all ready to go at it again. Four wide, get the ball rolling. Larson, the one to watch, able to make multiple groups work even in the early heats. And so now it looks like drivers gearing up, and we are now officially 1 lap to go. Under caution. Pace truck will back down and give the field 40 laps. Not a lot of time to play with, but it will be just enough to crown a champion and a race winner. Everett Larson has the keys to the kingdom, and the field will be under his jurisdiction when we get started. If you've got a favorite driver, sound off in our chat room. 19 are taking it to the start tonight. Only one will prevail. iRacing Pace Truck waiting to give them the signal, and it's about time. Another extension there just briefly to keep the field organized. And we have 19 going back to Josh Whiteman and Brendan McKee. They're all the way at the tail end of the field here. Also got Scott Thomason. And looks like now everyone is collected. Stakes are high. Stadium lights are out. The sun is gone as well. And that only leaves us with our 19 competitors to end the special event season here for Reigel Promotions. It's all but time for Everett Larson to do his thing, get things started, and on the pole position, that Pro 2 truck jumps right into business. Green flags out from the dirt track at Charlotte. Dropping low, Tyler Bickford to the bottom here. And he's already got himself some hotly contested waters. Here's a look off the side from Thad Countryman. The rubble plowing out of those tires. And these Pro 2 trucks are jammed tight. To the inside, Larson is going all the way low, lap after lap, corner after corner. But it won't be enough for now. Tyler Bickford with the high side has kept him not only honest, but kept him at bay. And it looks like Larson's qualifying reign has, at least for now, been put to a pause. New race leader is Tyler Bickford. Bickford advantageous in the lap 4. Then you got Matt Taylor here, the number 34 of Corey Bodenot, and the number 20 Sebastian Rios, all fighting just outside of the top 5. Here comes the freight train, and here comes the heart of the field all at once. Sideways and side by side, here comes a wiggle from the 34. That was a brief maneuver from Corey Bodenot. Luckily, he doesn't go out of line and fall into any greater trouble. The 15 is also there. Matt Taylor. Taylor diving low, but he can't go low enough now. There are drivers who are going all the way down to the grass trying to make something happen here, and it is risky trying to do business there. Contact with the wall, it's abundant, but also if you go low like Fred Hoffman is, you don't know if you're going to fall out of the racing groove. Everett Larson Racing, Dana Burdick, Goofball Gaming, thank you all for stopping by. Welcome to the big show. 40 laps is not a lot of time. In fact, in FTN Broadcasting history, this is our shortest lap and mile total that we broadcasted. Notably, 16 miles. That's it. That is the smallest race that we've ever done by mileage on this channel by a lot. Our last broadcast, which was literally last night, was 180 miles, and that, mind you, was at a 1.5 mile racetrack. So you could fit more than 3 of this track into an average racing intermediate circuit and intermediate oval. And then keep in mind, 16 miles compared to 180, you could do this 10 times over and not have that mileage. Side by side for second, Thad Countryman there with Everett Larson. Tyler Bickford is broken away and to the quarter waypoint. It's his at lap 10. Watch back as you got Tyler Jackson going high. Jimbo Rooney's been on a colder streak than he'd like to be. Waiting to get back at it. The last time he got to victory was in April, but he went on a torrid streak from last fall all the way to early spring. We haven't had nearly as many races since that point, so that has kind of stolen his thunder. We haven't raced since May in this series, mind you. Looking to shake off the dust and collect one final victory. Rooney, as they run, is going to be in P5, but he's right behind the big battle. Oh, contact and a big shake! Countryman stays in it, as does Rooney. 4 wide. That gives Larson second. Talk about a wiggle. Everett Larson still seeing his competition drive up the track. Tyler Jackson goes up high. Now, Everett takes second again. 4 wide, Jimbo Rooney. Right there and side by side with Sebastian Rios. Corey Bodenot watches with Rios, and a 27 of Rooney now just ahead of him. Rooney not able to get out of the Hornet's nest here. Everett Larson drops to the inside, but he'll skate way up top. Larson 4 wide again with Rooney coming through. That takes Rooney up and ahead. Contact again with the number 20 of Sebastian Rios. And Bad Countryman is now at the back of this 4-driver entanglement. That is as tight as it comes. Sebastian Rios now watching as Rooney, the champion to be, gets it up in front. What a send there by Rios. Now he was really in the grass there. All the while, Tyler Bickford has gotten away, and he holds his own at the head of the pack, leading by a 1.5 seconds. Tyler Jackson's got second. Jimbo Rooney now in third. But how much longer can Jackson maintain? Because it looks like all of a sudden, Rooney has found his groove. And while he's still not where he would like to be relative to Bickford, he's gotten through everyone but. Still Everett Larson being pressured. Corey Bodenot back in the mix. 3 wide and side by side with 20 of Davis and the 0-1 of Larson. It's contact again, but all the contact that we've seen has been savable. Goes to show the big difference between sprint car racing and these trucks. These guys are durable, they can last, they can take hits, and they will not be denied. The racing doesn't stop once you bang someone else up. It only just begins at that point. Corey gets a good run off the outside. It looks like that outer groove is coming in pretty well. Meanwhile, Everett Larson finding himself with more struggle, falling down into 8th as he's low, and it looks like the left rear fender about to rip off for Sebastian Rios here. And while the paneling is going away, he hasn't lost that much pace. He's just getting caught up in the act. And it looks like right now, still being side by side with Larson has really slowed him down. Oh, full-on contact. There goes the 13 spinning. That's Fred Hoffman. Caution's out at the halfway point. And Fred Hoffman going around brings us under yellow. Watch this. It's your first caution of the day, and it looks like, yeah, Hoffman just ate that tire and completely missed the apex. That's what brings out the caution. Yellow flag brought to you by 618 Engraving and Design. And for Hoffman, he'll take it down to pit road. This will leave us with 21 laps to go from here. Field bundles up. Some to pit road. Sebastian Rios opting to go there. As did Fred Hoffman. John Holly. Timing and scoring going to be mangled up right now because we are seeing pit stops. However, we are not seeing anyone change positions. That's because right now, timing and scoring frozen under caution. Laps are not being advanced. We will go back at it at lap number 20. So we are taking some laps and we're cycling around. Not seeing a huge difference in what's going on because the field is at a standstill. Waiting to put it all together again. So far, there's been no stopping Bickford. Tyler Bickford has been the advantageous man since the beginning, and he is yet to be stopped. The only question is, was he able to get that break by luck of the draw, or does he have the stuff to do it again? Second half begins after this lap. Here comes lap number 20, back underway, Bickford in control. Sebastian Rios Davis, Fred Hoffman, John Holly, the few that go down to pit road, and as they do so, the rest of the pack will get away. Got a slide from Michael Menes, and that brings out the caution for the second time tonight. Watch this. Cautions, breeding cautions early on. And it begins. Some contact there, and the number 30, careening into the outside wall. And he'll collect the 113 of Dana Burdick. Dana, a huge hit there. And you can see the bodywork getting stripped off with that hit. We will only have 20 laps to go after our second caution. Second half is due to start. Still at the top of the charts, Tyler Bickford. Alongside him, got Tyler Jackson. Then Everett Larson a few rows back, your pole sitter. He's still in the fight. Got a little bit more work to do here. Stands in the third row, the inside of the third row. Set to go green again. Michael in the number 30, coming off of pit road. Could be fully collected to return to green. Set to clinch a championship tonight, Jimbo Rooney, 51 points above the cut line. Rooney running currently in the third position. All blue number 27. He's poised to collect the title off the back of 6 wins, 3 times more than the next closest driver. First single file restart of the day sees Bickford get the ball rolling. Nobody else near him. And we are back on the move. Halfway down, halfway to go. No trouble as we get things started, but there's only 20 laps remaining. Now or never hasn't been nearly as true until this point. And you can see clearly Jackson taking to that mentality. Tyler sends it down to the inside. It's Tyler on Tyler. Bickford up high. Jackson down low. 19 remaining. What's interesting now is that it becomes a double file fight for the top 2 spots. And then from there, we've seen single file, we've seen double file, we've seen triple Y, but most consistently it's been 2x2, high or low for these leading 2 spots. They've been the premier spots and they've done great alongside each other, Bickford and Jackson, but there's no telling what you see behind. Still, Everett Larson competing against Thad Countryman, and here comes Corey Bodenot with a great run for 4th. No changes for the lead. Jackson, however, is now the man with the advantage, and it looks like Bickford just hasn't been able to get him on the inside. The outer groove has proven more and more successful tonight, and it looks like with Jackson taking it again, that's just further proof. 16 laps remaining. Scraping up that high side, and that doesn't matter. And you can see that darker section of the dirt where you've got all the rubble that is packed up on the high side, and it's left there. It can't go any higher, and that's what these drivers are using to their advantage. That's exactly how Jackson is getting that pull off the outside and moving himself down through the exit of turn 2. Nobody else has been able to pull it off nearly as well, and that's exactly why he leads. All the while, Bickford and Jimbo Rooney are watching each other, and they're going at it for second and third. Rooney is more prioritizing defending third place right now. It looks like Corey Bodenot isn't having as much of a thrill staying behind, and he'd like to change things. A nudge to the 27. Bodenot's got to watch out here. He's got to find his groove and not make a mistake. Sliding all the way up the track and in the wall. Talk about an aggressive block, and it works. Corey, with contact, stays in third. And that was a miraculous block for Corey Bodenot. The fact of the matter is that he's got damage. He's lucky it even stuck. Had it been any other car, he would have been done for, but since it's these Pro 2 trucks, he can keep on going. Side by side, Mitchell Maynard, Matt Taylor, and then you've got Josh Whiteman all the way back. Trouble for the number 8 is Scott Thomason. It looks like some suspension damage. No, he's just flickering back and forth on the wheel. He's all good. Everyone else looks to be as well. 3/10 up is Tyler Jackson on Tyler Bickford with 11 laps remaining. Mostly the top 10 has settled in. Donnie Watts just behind Mitchell Maynard and Matt Taylor here, the 069 in ninth, the 15 in Taylor up top. And still their double file. Black number 15 not really getting an edge as Maynard continues to throw it down in there, and that has worked for some drivers. Maynard's one of those who still looks to be competitive going down there, but slowly we're watching as the upper groove becomes preferential. Everyone started down low in the heats, but that's no longer the case with 9 laps to go. Bickford on Jackson takes the top spot. Another pass for the race lead. Meanwhile, to the inside again goes Jackson. 2 lead passes in 2 laps. 8 laps to go. You never know which will be their last. Bickford back again on top. Jackson now goes lower. It's another swap. I mean, this has been continuous now. We've had 4 in the past 2 laps, and off every corner, each of them has a different shot to do it. Take a look on board with Bickford right now, and you'll see he's got his crosshair firmly planted on Jackson. When Jackson skates up high, he's able to dive up and in and take that spot right back, and that's what he's done here. 7 laps to go, coming to 6. They're side by side of the line for the lead. Corey Bodenot is within 0.4 of a second, and this is the closest he's been all night long to the win. Now, 6 laps remain. 6 coming to 5, blocking Jackson does on Bickford. Tyler on Tyler, still head to head. Corey has gotten closer while these two have distracted each other, and you could see a 3-horse race for the victory if Bodenot just gets some room. Jackson still ahead. One mistake out of a corner would be the game changer here. Corey Bodenot has not yet been able to pull a move on second place Tyler Bickford, and Bickford gets a shot down low. To the inside of the 3 and 4. It'll be Bickford looking for the lead and coming all the way up the track. Both Tylers have to stop. Advantage is Bickford. 3 laps remaining. Here comes Jackson. Crossover once, twice. And that's enough to bring Bodenot into the frame. Corey goes down low for second. Jackson's got to stick it here to maintain P2, but both the Tylers, not a great entry nor exit. That's going to pull Corey further back. 2 laps remaining. It's any of their races with a mile, of course, left to go. Into 3 and 4. Next time around, it's for the win, but in the wall goes Tyler Jackson. Can he come back? He'll have to pull deep through 1 and 2. Going all the way up top, trying to get the drive in. Bickford scrapes the wall. It'll be side by side into your final set of corners. Bickford low, Jackson up top, Tyler on Tyler. Bickford slammed up high, and the 07 runs away at the line, but it won't be enough. Tyler Jackson takes the checkered flag, and Bickford finishes second. A nudge up the track is the difference through 3 and 4, and Jackson wins the Truckers Tangle 40. Jackson on top to finish off the Reigel Promotions special event season. And at the end of it all, Jimbo Rooney is a 6th place finisher and a champion. Jackson not even going to burn down the house there with Bickford and Bodnott, your podium. And we'll be right back with post-race coverage from the Charlotte dirt track as we arrange our top 3 drivers for interviews and figure out how they felt on the racetrack tonight. From the virtual dirt track in Charlotte, we'll return after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The Truckers Tangle 40 comes and goes, and your top 2 drivers led 38 of 40 laps, and both of them are named Tyler. Tyler Jackson gets the better of Tyler Bickford, leading 14 Jackson to Bickford's 24, as Corey Bodnott comes home 13th. Thad Countryman is then 4th, and of course, Corey Bodnott ends the podium in 3rd. Everett Larson 5th, your pole sitter. And Jimbo Rooney coming away as a champion in 6th. Sebastian Rios finishes 7th with Matt Taylor 8th. Donnie Watson 9th. And Mitchell Maynard wraps up the top 10 with Josh Whiteman, Fred Hoffman, John Holly, Adam McAfee, and Dana Burdick for the top 15. As Jordan Navarro, Michael Menes, and Brendan McKee, lastly Scott Thomason make up the end of your 19-driver field. And it was a Loctite battle between the Tylers from the beginning of this race to the end, especially that second half run. Final 20 laps coming right at you uninterrupted. And we've got a word from your race winner coming now. And we'll first hear from the driver who finishes the job on top. Tyler Jackson from the dirt track in Charlotte, you're a winner. And it was door banging until the very end.
Yeah, haven't driven one of these since last year when we were at Lincoln, and yeah, turned a few laps. Probably turned, I don't know, 30 or 40 laps this week getting ready, and yeah, it was a good race. Didn't really know what to do at the end, what line to run. Seemed like Bickford was catching me no matter what I was doing there, and had pretty clean race going, pretty respectable race, and then yeah, you parked it on my nose there coming out of 4, and then that was pretty much gloves off for me. I try to race people the way they race me, and most of the time it's clean. But I mean, if we're gonna lean on each other, these are the right vehicles to do it.
And no doubt about that, these Pro 2 trucks able to take a beating all throughout. We only had that mid-race interruption, but otherwise, quick green flag racing. So how is it for you dealing with going side by side, banging doors all through?
Yeah, I mean, I literally haven't raced these, so I didn't really know. Like, I knew what we needed to do for lap time and qualifying, but as far as racing, didn't know really how they'd race here. They race pretty good. The weird thing about these cars is when you get in the slick, they actually push, or trucks, I should say. They push, and everything else I drive, you get in the slick, it wants to over rotate, but these push. So figuring that out towards the end of the night was kind of weird. I didn't really know. I felt like I was giving up a lot of time in 3 and 4 because I was getting a nasty push and I really didn't know what I was doing. So made up for it in 1 and 2. We could rip the top pretty good, and then A diamond line was really the best line, I think, in 1 and 2, but you can't really pull that when somebody's right behind you. So, yeah, just followed Bickford up top going into 1 and 2, and I knew I was going to send it pretty hard there in 3 and 4, and he kind of looked like he kind of anticipated that and then moved down a little bit, and we made contact. I'm sure he's upset with it, but yeah, it is what it is. We had a good race, and hopefully he's not too mad.
And of course, this track, very short, up and down with not a lot of time to build up those grooves. It looks like we saw more movement up to the upper groove the later the race went on. Did you feel that firsthand?
Yeah, 1 and 2 got really good up top, and then at the very end, 3 and 4 looked like it was getting pretty good too. Yeah, I just not enough laps in these to really know what I was doing. I don't know if Tyler races these at all, but he was really quick. He was the best car all night in qualifying in his heat. But yeah, we were. I felt like we did what we had to do to get the lead, and yeah, once we started trading paint, then it was every man for themselves.
We saw that for certain. You and Tyler Bickford leading 38 of 40 laps across the entire field tonight and ending the Truckers Tangle in your case as a winner. Any final comments you'd like to leave us as you have the checkered flag?
I just thank for everybody for watching, you for the broadcast. These guys for putting it on. It's a really fun race to do once a year on the ovals. Yeah, DWR, my team I race for, the Dirt Street Stocks. It's pretty much all I race anymore. They got a good league on Wednesday nights, and DWRLs. They come watch them sometime on YouTube and Facebook. And yeah, just good run to Tyler and Corey. I know Corey as well. Used to race street stocks with him. So yeah, good run to everybody. I hope the fans enjoyed it, and we'll be back next year.
Next March, looking for a chance maybe to defend this title as the Truckers Tangle winner, Tyler Jackson. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up is the Tyler who led the most laps of the day. That's Tyler Bickford. He leads 24 and comes away second after a door-banging finish.
Yeah, man, that was lots of fun.
First and foremost, how was it out there for you fighting for the lead till the very end?
Man, I was on cruise control there for the first half, and then the caution came out. I didn't want to see that. I knew T-Jack would be fast, but it was fun, man. I had a blast the whole time. Just a couple more laps, I think it would have been settled.
You mentioned that just a few more laps back and forth between you guys going up and down the track, and we saw so many of those crossover moves. Do you think there's anything you could have done to change this up in this case?
Yeah, there's a couple times I threw a slider and I just pushed like a dump truck. I think if I didn't push those couple times, it would have been I could have got a better run off or something, but not much you could do. It takes a lot to get these momentum up in these things, so.
All things considered, we've done this event a few consecutive years in a row. We're coming up on our next running next year in March. You think you're going to come back and try to go at it, defend perhaps a podium or go for a win?
Oh, for sure, man. I love these things on dirt oval. Not much experience with them on the off-road portion, but they're fun to drive, man. I'll be back.
That said, Tyler Bickford, 24 laps and quickly making his way to the top of the podium in the pylon. Any final comments you'd like to leave us with? The floor.
Man, I got to thank you for the broadcast, Reigel for putting it on, Dana and No Coast Customs for the wrap. I don't think it showed on the stream tonight, but it was a clean-looking wrap, and Midwest Sim Sports.
Tyler Bickford, second on the day here in the 07. Thank you for your time. Lastly, to end the podium, Corey Bodenot, who tried to make it a maybe dark horse appearance to try to fight for the win in the last few laps, getting up to third and almost getting involved in that win battle. Corey, you're with us now.
Oh, God, I have no idea what to say up here. I've not ran an iRacing race for like 3 or 4 months now. That was pretty exciting coming out here in one of these trucks and putting on a show.
Well, Corey, you mentioned it's been a few months, but it looked like you fell right back into line. You were competitive, and especially at the end, something clicked. Can you let us know? Was there something in particular that got you going?
I found that line up by the wall up on the cushion, and it seemed to work out good in these trucks, and I was just kind of hoping the two in front were going to make a little bit of contact, and I made a cut underneath.
Close to getting there, just not enough time, and maybe time was the difference. You think if there were 10 more laps, you would have had more for him?
No, I don't think laps made a difference. It was more or less getting a little bit of luck there, and I could have maybe done a little bit better on getting off the bottom.
Well, with that said, of course, there's always next year here. Getting yourself back into business with the Reigel Promotions Special Events Series and finishing off the season strong. You think we'll be seeing you back for the next one?
Not sure. I came here based off of a little invite from Mitch Maynard, and I was driving his truck and with his sponsorships.
Well, all things considered, a strong return to end the calendar. Corey Bodenot, third place. Anything else you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, just thanks to TFG Racing and that's Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions. Yeah, and that's about it.
Corey Bodenot, P3 on the day, finishing off the podium from the dirt track at Charlotte. Thank you again for your time.
Yep.
We've just gotten a word from your third place finisher, Corey, them the Tylers, second in Bickford, and first in Tyler Jackson, and the going from the Truckers Tangle 40. A quick race, all things considered, but a great one in our third annual running, brought to you by Two Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions and Reigel Promotions eSports. Thank you for tuning in tonight live on FTN Broadcasting. I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night with the Integrity Ignite series, so if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. We may be back for some more Reigel Promotions events in the coming months, so subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with what's yet to come. A great race to end, of course, our Sunday night, and we thank you for tuning in. Congratulations to Tyler Jackson for collecting victory in the Truckers Tangle 40 and its third running here in 2025. We hope you have a fantastic night.